President Tinubu addresses Nigerians as hunger protest continues. Nationwide protest. Governor of Lord of Bible Youths announces monthly support program for 5 plans equipment yard to boost food sufficiency in Akwa Ibom. In administration, maintenance of peace. A very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us on the news at 7. I am Uyoko Uswa. Away from the presidential broadcast to others on Christian youth to embrace peace in the face of the ongoing national protest. Speaking with our reporter, the SSA said Akwa Ibom is known for her peaceful coexistence and should not surrender her disposition in view of the protest.
Apostle admits which has affected Nigerians adversely and the right to protest as enshrined in the Nigerian Constitution, however sued for peace considering the administration to ameliorate the sufferings of Akwa Ibom people.
The present government of Akwa Ibom State is doing everything possible to give the people of Akwa Ibom State the kind of life they deserve. The government is doing everything to ameliorate the pains and suffering of the people of Akwa Ibom State. You can see all its programs, all its interventions are geared towards protecting the people of Akwa Ibom State. I said we are not really stopping anybody from protesting. It's a right. It's a constitutional right. And my advice to the youth is that make it peaceful, devoid of violence. If you really have to protest, please make sure you do it within the bounds of the law and it doesn't infringe on the right of others.
Elderly monthly package of 50,000 naira, donating free completed 2 bedroom bungalows to indigenous members of the society, skills training with cash grant of 500,000 naira each on completion, payment of education grants to undergraduates, and bursary, as well as food intervention through the bulk purchase agency.
A listening governor. Of course, protest is based to give out a message. Governor who is aware of the plight of the people, very much in touch with the people and caring, compassionate to make sure that good welfare. So it is not necessary and I advise the youth to join the protest in the state. Also, a protest at this time where there are many unscrupulous youth waiting for every opportunity to hijack the protest. You are aware that the governor recently had a meeting with some stakeholders in the state and where some of these issues were highlighted and to the governor. And that was a platform, a forum, where citizens could interact and have an interface with the government. And the governor, knowing who he is, will pass on the message to appropriate quarters. So that to me was a better platform, which I believe we have made good use of.
The SSA equally appreciated Christian youth in the state for conducting themselves peacefully since the beginning of the nationwide protest and encouraged them to desist from any action capable of causing disharmony and violence in the state while trusting God for a better Nigeria. Patience John, AKBC News.
Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Omoino has commended the youths for distancing themselves from the nationwide protest, thereby maintaining the peaceful ambience in the state. To reciprocate the gesture, the governor disclosed plans by his administration to launch a social welfare program that will provide monthly support for about 5,000 youths in the state. The governor made the declaration during the August edition of the monthly covenant service at the Banquet Hall of Government House, Uyo, tagged, "But they shall proceed no further." He said by resisting the temptation to join in the protest, Akwa Ibom youths have evaded the much anticipated violent outcome as reported in some other states and urged them to maintain their resolve throughout the 10 days of the protest. The protest is scheduled for. The governor assured that the planned social program will be unveiled and possibly launched in October 2024, adding that it will accommodate youths yet to be employed across all local government areas in the state. The General Secretary, Assemblies of God Nigeria, the Reverend Godwin Amawu, who delivered a sermon on the theme of the service, urged the people to resist the deterioration of the perilous times, asserting that as Akwa Ibom is a state that looks up to God and is led by a servant of God, the people should thrive on godliness, and the Spirit of God will place a limitation on ungodly men. The distribution of 48,000 bags of palliatives jointly provided by the federal and state governments to villages in the state has received a boost. Report says that the exercise is successful as most villages have taken delivery of the palliatives. Correspondents who monitor the exercise in Uyo, Uran, Nsribum, and Nsreta local government areas described the distribution exercise as peaceful. The report.
At the Uyo local government area, stakeholders including village heads, youth and women leaders were at the venue of the exercise on IBB Avenue for their share. The Transition Committee Chairman Dr. Womedi Modo and other respondents thanked Pastor Moino for being a friendly and compassionate leader who understands the language and plight of the people. According to him, the 76 villages have taken delivery. In Uran, the Chairman Transition Committee, Surveyor Iniobong Robson, alongside others, appreciated the federal and state government for the show of concern. A respondent in Uran, while applauding the initiative, called for the provision of seedlings and farm implements for the production of more food.
So far, the federal government, in partnership with the AKBC state government, they've given 180 bags of rice and then 108 bags of gari covering the 54 villages in Uran local government area.
Well, it's a nice gesture. It's a federal government, I'm very palliative. It's a million. It's going to reduce the fuel. Managerial transportation, I would say an ordinary man can afford.
Many of your come, I didn't know as a governor. We might any on the top. They can now go back. As no one gets a government and I'm partly to more idea.
A visit to Nsaratai and AKBC local government areas showed the loading of the rice palliatives to various villages. For the people of Nsribum and Ika local government areas, it was a huge success as they expressed gratitude to the governor for his magnanimity.
Okay, we received 98 bags of gari and 980 bags of rice, because here in Nsribum we have 49 gazetted villages. And as you can see, the rice, the sharing is ongoing. The people of Nsribum are so happy. We, the stakeholders of Nsribum local government, we are so happy because it has really helped us a lot.
I really commend the governor of Akwa Ibom State enlarging the cost of feeding process in Akwa Ibom State.
We thank the president and our Damini governor.
Manage and pick the village, agility, get a village about.
To encourage large-scale farming, plans are afoot to set up an equipment leasing yard to support farmers in the cultivation of massive acres of land in the state. The Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Ofiongofo, dropped the hint when distributing farm inputs to commercial farmers in the state. The distribution held at Akwa Ibom Agricultural Development Program Headquarters, Uyo. Paul reports.
Presenting the input to large-scale farmers in the state, Dr. Fiomofo said the support to farmers will be systematically, adding that the ministry intends to focus on other value chains and that farmers in different categories will be considered in phases. She noted that in the course of the distribution, the ministry has carried along different categories of farmers to enhance food sufficiency and also emphasized on the need to sustain the partnership.
Try to carry along every category of farmer in this exercise as much as we can, and today we reached out to the large-scale farmers. I've seen that there is no level of farming anymore in North that does not need support from government, because it's a social service. The journey to sufficiency is a journey just like success. And the journey go to different levels at different times until you arrive your destination. So please, let's work together and we'll arrive at our destination.
Setting the tone for the event, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Mrs. Mary Kwete-Bassi, affirmed that the distribution of farm input is facilitated by Governor Moino to boost food production in the state. Mrs. Bassi, who charged the recipient to multiply the input, recalled that across the 31 local government areas, individual farmers, groups, public primary and secondary schools have so far benefited from the input support program.
While we have given to individuals, we have given to so many farmers here in Akwa Ibom State. We've given to schools, primary schools and secondary schools. So today we are out here to give you what the governor sent our dear commissioner.
The beneficiaries, including Prince Remy Taito, appreciated the ministry's effort to timely engagement of the people in the second planting season, called on the government to further enhance the engineering unit of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development to support commercial farmers. The managing director of Vika and Rodic Farms, Dr. Sikbo Esienibok, and Reverend Richard Edikbo applauded Governor Moino for taking agriculture seriously and his concern towards encouraging all to return back to the farm to produce enough food for the populace.
We have problems. Like we have the cows. Right now, if you go to my own area, you find almost 70 cows sleeping there. So it seriously needs a political will, because we cannot fence such a large area of farm and still benefit. It's grandchildren that come and benefit. We'll just labor in vain.
We are excited to be here, and I hope we'll be excited to see the outcome.
Iyagino Paul, AKBC News.
Future Leaders School has held its 2024 graduation and end-of-year ceremony. The ceremony, the 10th edition, had parents and guardians thrilled with different performances by pupils and students of the school. It was held at the school premises, number 1 Ante Street by Oron Road, Uyo. Juliet Richard reports.
Presenting the 2023-2024 graduates, the school proprietor and chairman board of governors, Apostle Ephraim Esen, thanked God for the giant strides the school has recorded since inception, attributing them to the trust and support of parents as well as hard work and commitment of the teachers. Apostle Ephraim said the school will continue to focus on the goal of raising leaders that would combine academic excellence and good character, empowered to be creative and successful in future. He charged the graduates to hold on to the virtue and morals they have imbibed.
We thank the Almighty God for making this day a reality. God's benevolence over anointed future schools should not be taken for granted. Education is good, since it is the bedrock of every success in life. The vision of raising anointed future students is to correct errors, delay wrong perception, stop evil vices, and shortcut to wealth, popularity, and fame in our society.
Also, the proprietaries of the school, Pastor Grace Essien, asked parents and guardians to nurture their children in the way of the Lord rather than abusing and castigating them.
What you have to do is to pray for your child. That child may not perform well today, but tomorrow you may come out the best in life. So don't say anything to bring down your child if that child is not performing well today. Only you have to look for the area that child is best and encourage that child in that area.
The valedictorian, Ms. Mfoniso Esoko, on behalf of all the 2023-2024 sets, appreciated God for seeing them through their secondary school education, attributing the academic milestone to their parents' support and teachers' dedication, promising to be better citizens of the state and country.
All the teachers, especially our subject teachers and class advisors, thank you for encouraging us to do things we never knew we could do, bringing out our potentials and making us believe in ourselves. Thank you for equipping us with the strength and knowledge to take the next step forward our dreams.
The ceremony featured different presentations, including newscasting, recitation, and dance by the pupils and students of the school, while the best graduating students went home with prizes and awards.
The Anointed Future Leaders School and the Anointed Future Comprehensive High School are growing from strength to strength as they mark another milestone in their history. They are graduating the second batch of senior secondary school students today. Speaking with the governor, the board of directors of Anointed Future Leaders School, Apostle Ephraim Esiem.
You're free to dance with your children as they go back.
Juliet Richard, AKBC News.
Still to come, in women task on support for Umoino administration, maintenance of peace. Stay with us. It's so good to have you back. If you're just joining us, this is AKBC 45 News at 7. Moving on to other stories now. A nursery, primary and secondary citadel of learning, Diplomat Academy, located off Idere Road, Uyo, has held its end-of-year celebration. The event, which held at the school sports ground, featured awards of certificates to graduating students, as well as recognition of outstanding staff of the academy. Details in our subsequent bulletins. The women of any local government area have been tasked on continued support to the Umoino administration and performing their roles as bridge builders. The immediate past commissioner for agriculture, Dr. Gloria Edet, gave the task when she played host to women drawn from across the 11 wards of Ini on Thursday. Ayano Paul completes the report.
Speaking at the event held at her Ikbeikonkon residence and had in attendance female stakeholders, Dr. Gloria Edet, who is the president of Mary Slessor Kanglo Foundation, said there is need for women to remain committed to the present administration in the state, led by Governor Moino. Dr. Edet lauded Governor Moino for being gender sensitive and for leading Akwa Ibom in a way that pleases God, and appreciated the wife of the governor, Pastor Patience, for the numerous lives she has touched through her pet project, Jifa. The erstwhile commissioner urged the women to be united and to maintain the existing peace in the area, imbibe the culture of praying for their children, encouraging them to be steadfast and support Governor to succeed in office. Dr. Edet advised women to ensure that they vote in the coming local government bills, but warned against things that would truncate the peace enjoyed in Ini and Akwa Ibom.
Form do. Instead of oversee. So someone can go to woman. Mboke fight and make come oversee and did a young son. Call His Excellency Pastor Moino. Akenam astere mi aba ndo. Tasie danye Adam ayena me ne meka iso back and Akwa Ibom State. So very After meeting Tibanini across the 11 wards. Everybody from Ward 1 to Ward 11, we will support Pastor Moino. Abasiedi onye, ana mukara momi, aka so fun. You do some 8 years. Getting up all trees up.
Also speaking, the Commissioner for Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Ofiomofo, expressed gratitude to the women of the local government area for their unwavering support for PDP during and after the elections, and lauded Governor Moyno for the peace enjoyed in the state, the agricultural boom, and other life-touching projects his administration is attracted to INI.
Imikom, the governor of Akwa Ibom, Ikomo yen. Kena ina Akwa Ibom ba gelen. Kena ini wo iri bono mi fana. Ite na protest Akwa Ibom do very peaceful. Come ba ni na mo ke guys say be dem be PDP. But maka word gele. Even this against you mene we give one gan. Mene we give one gan. Mene we do voters.
In their separate goodwill messages, the representative of women from each of 11 wards assured Dr. Edith of their unwavering support to PDP and Governor Moyno.
Excellency Pastor Moyno. Man of fun, you people are getting premium. In fact, I'm going to get my as far as Dr. Glory and Ireland,
High points of the meeting were prayers for the governor, his administration, leaders, youth, children, and peace in the nation. Eyageno Paul, AKBC News.
To end the news, another look at stories that made the headlines. President Tinubu addresses Nigerians as hunger protest continues. A social welfare program for youth has been instituted by the state government. The welfare program is to support about 5,000 youths monthly beginning from October this year. Governor Eno announced this at the August edition of the Government House Covenant Service. We also told you that the women of the local government area have been tasked on continued support for the Moyno administration and performing their roles as bridge builders. Immediate past Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Glory Edith, gave the task when she played host to women drawn from across the 11 wards of the local government area. And that's it for 7. Sunday News Special comes up at 8 p.m.